We have some massive breaking news that has been announced that JTG Daugherty Racing will officially be rebranding to Hyak Motorsports in 2025. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel and welcome back to our video. As I just said in a second ago, we got some pretty massive and major breaking news as it has been announced that JTG Daugherty Racing will be rebranding to Hyak Motorsports starting in 2025. Here's a statement from them today. Hyak Motorsports welcomes in a new era of racing for the iconic number 4017 team with a rebrand, new name, and ownership. Effective immediately, the team will shift from JTG Racing to Hyak Motorsports with Gordon Smith, who becomes the principal owner at the end of the 2023 season at the helm. Hyak Motorsports will continue to carry out Smith's plans to bring a fresh new energy to the team and show his commitment to advancing the team's legacy both and on and off the racetrack. The change starts with the name Hyak, which means fast in Chinook jargon, which is a trade language of the Pacific Northwest and incorporates terms from Chinook, Chalias, and many other local languages. The ownership transition promises to fuel Hyak Motorsports with a competitive edge by enhancing its approach to performance, innovation, and fan engagement. Smith is joined by co-owners Brad Daugherty, Mark Hughes, and Ernie Cope, who remains dedicated to maintaining the team's high standards while introducing updated strategies and resources to help bring the team to a new level. This is definitely something that's been rumored that's be expected for a while. We already know that Tad and Jody Geschecter were not going to be part of this program anymore. It's been rumored that Tad and Jody Geschecter are either just getting out of racing altogether or moving to more of a law firm side of things or going to be headed over to Joe Gibbs Racing in 2025. And this team's future has definitely been majorly in question. And a lot of people are also wondering about the future of this organization too because of Kroger leaving. Remember, it was announced earlier this week that Kroger would be leaving JTG Daugherty Racing or Hyak Motorsports and will be joining over at RFK Racing starting in 2025, where they're going to sponsor Ryan Preece, I believe, for every single race with all the local brands they have in there. And they had to find something to do to keep this program running. So especially with the Geschecter name not being part of it, it makes a lot of sense to go ahead and change the name. Now, Gordon Smith has been with this program for a very, very long time. He owns a company up, I believe, in the Pacific Northwest called Hyak Maritime. I'd have to think that that is going to be the majority sponsor for the races, and they'll probably have to go and find some sponsors. I do think that NOS Energy more than likely will stick around in some sort of capacity and continue working with Ricky Stenhouse Jr., considering they've had a really good working relationship over the course of the last couple of years. Probably Sunny D as well is my guess as another sponsor that is going to continue working with this company in 2025. As for the other things to know, I did not know until now that Ernie Cope was working as an owner of this program. Ernie Cope has been in the NASCAR industry for many years. I remember when he was a crew chief for Kevin Harvick Incorporated back in the day. So cool to see him part of the ownership group. And Brad Daugherty. There's been people that are speculating that Brad Daugherty was no longer going to be part of this program anymore because his name's no longer part of the ownership group. Well, he's still part of the ownership group, but his name is not on the ownership side of things anymore. Brad Daugherty is still committed. We don't know if he's going to be back to the NBC yet for 2025 or not. I have to imagine he's still going to be committed to that for 2025. Again, this does make some sense to go ahead and rebrand. It's just going to be weird, though, to see that JTG Daugherty will not be around as JTG Daugherty. They're changing up the name for 2025. It's going to feel weird because I remember the JTG name from even the 1990s. I wasn't born at the time, but I remember the 47 car from the 1990s and going even into the 2000s as well. Tad and Jody Geschecter have had their fingers in the sport for a very, very long time. But when they lost their Kroger sponsorship this year, they were going to have to do something different to change things up. Now, how do I think this is going to affect Hyak Motorsports going into 2025? Honestly, I think that they are going to be struggling a little bit going into the 2025 season. I think a big reason for that is because the lack of sponsorship. Losing that Kroger sponsorship going into 2025, I think is really going to affect them. And again, I do mention some of the sponsors like Sunny D and NOS Energy that could stick around for the 2025 campaign, but I do think that this team is going to have some definite struggles going into the future. They're probably going to be in this lower half of the standings, but I do think that Stenhouse does have a chance and opportunity because Ricky Stenhouse Jr. does have a contract with this organization, I believe, through 2026 or 2027. The other big question I have is, will this team last for another 3 to 4 years? Will they only be around for 2025, or will they be around longer? I'd have to assume, and I don't like making assumptions, but I have to assume that this team is planning to be around at least for the long-term and foreseeable future and build the program up. Let's be real and honest, whether it was JTG Daugherty or Hyak Motorsports, this organization has been struggling. They had some good runs, of course, in the early 2010s with AJ Allmendinger and Bobby Labonte at times, and then they got Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and to Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s credit, he's ran all right with this organization. I remember in 2023, even if he didn't win the Daytona 500, he would have made the playoffs, but this team had a major step back, and I think the distractions of losing Kroger really played a role in that. So what are my expectations for this organization going into 2025? Realistically, I think you're going to see this team struggle a little bit. I think they will potentially be a top 30 team in the standings. I do think that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will get some top 10s. And I do think Ricky Stenhouse Jr. also will be a contender at super speedways. We know how good of a super speedway racer he is. So I think that Stenhouse will run solidly with the program. The only thing that's basically changing is a name brand, but also losing that Kroger sponsorship is definitely a massive loss, as that's going to RFK Racing with Brad Keselowski there. Now talking about this, again, does the team stick around? We'll have to kind of wait and see. But you think about this program, you think about this team, they've won some big races. AJ Allmendinger got their first win as an organization back in 2014 when they won at Watkins Glen. Then Stenhouse has gotten multiple victories with this program. And Stenhouse, like I said, has done a solid job with this team over the years. But that's another big thing we got to talk about too. How much longer is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. going to be sticking around in the Cup Series? Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 2025 will be 38 years old. And a lot of drivers in the sport are starting to get up there in age. You think about Kyle Busch, you think about Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, who are starting to get a little bit older in that upper age. And he's going to be the fourth oldest full-time NASCAR Cup Series driver in 2025. I think Stenhouse is a solid driver, though, that definitely can make the best of equipment, and I really hope he can do a solid job. I'd have to think that they're still going to be getting some help and support from Chevrolet as they continue to build up this program. This move has been expected. This was teased about a week or so ago, and I really hope this program can continue doing great things in 2025. Again, I do think there's going to be some struggles for sure with this program going to 2025, but at the end of the day, it's good to see that the 47 team is going to be sticking around, but sponsors are going to be a major thing to watch out for going into 2025. We'll see how Ricky Stenhouse Jr. can perform and how he does. Maybe find a way to see Dale Jr. come in and Junior Motorsports get a charter from this team. That could certainly be a possibility option, especially with Connor Zillage, who I think is really, really good, who I think could be in Cup in the future. But I do think at the end of the day, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. being there for 3 years is the right decision. It's interesting, though, they're having a rebrand for 2025. Going to be very interesting to see how this team performs in 2025. So that is going to be today's special breaking news report. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. List description below that, and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. What are your expectations for Hyak Motorsports going into the 2025 campaign? Let me know in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, we're going to have a NASCAR news video discussing news over the course of the last couple days. We'll catch up on the RFK news, the RCR crew chief changes for Kyle Busch, and also Austin Dillon RCR. We'll talk about the Circuit America's course changes. We're going to talk about people like Haley Deegan, Connor Zillage, SVG this week. Other stuff like Brad Keselowski's new crew chief coming into play. We'll talk about Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, you name it, Chase Elliott. And Carl Lewis, Kurt Busch, you name it, all the people involved in this sport. This weekend, I'm going to have predictions videos most likely for the playoffs, and also, of course, I would likely have predictions for the Cup Series coming out in this weekend on Sunday. So expect a lot of really great content dropping over the weekend, and if Max Verstappen does win the Formula One Championship, you might see a video on that. And then on Monday, I probably will have another NASCAR news video dropping, and I've got a lot of great content dropping really soon on this channel that I cannot wait for you guys to check out. They're going to be seen very, very soon. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.